God-level duplication system. Chapter 20. The second round was about to begin. Lin Xuan didn't know, he just made it into the top 10 and scared Lin Hai to death. At this moment, he was looking at the empty attribute panel in front of him. Because he entered the top 10 and was ranked number 1. There was another commotion on the field. At the same time, it brings more energy points. Lin Xuan was all smiles. Brother Lin Xuan, what are you happy about? Lin Xian's soft voice came. I'm happy, we've all entered the top 10, and we can go to Liuyanzong together. Lin Xuan replied with a smile. Lin Xian nodded, smiling unabated. Then, the two chatted and laughed. It's just that Lin Xuan didn't notice that in the depths of Lin Xian's eyes, the look of sadness didn't dissipate and it became more intense. The high-level members of the four major forces, hearing this result, have different expressions. Everyone in the Lin family was very happy, with smiles all over their faces. As for the other three major forces, their expressions were serious, and their eyes were full of solemnity. Among the top 10, 4 are disciples of the Lin family, nearly half of them. Even the Zhang family of the City Lord's mansion is not as good. Does this symbolize something? The high-level leaders of the three major forces have a heavy heart, and they dare not guess. High platform. Zhao Xun, the envoy of Liuyanzong, sat in the central seat. Wenyang, the city advocate, and Lin Qishuan, the most powerful person in Qingya City, sat on both sides. The ancestors of the other two major forces sat with them on the outermost two sides. This time, a good seed has emerged. Zhao Xun glanced at Lin Xuan, smiled and nodded. Lin Qishuan also smiled and nodded slightly in agreement. On the other hand, Zhang Wenyang as well as the ancestors of the other two major powers smiled for a while and their hearts skipped a beat, having a bad premonition. Even the envoys treat each other differently, don't they? The three of them also glanced at Lin Xuan in the stands, muttering in their hearts. But Zhang Wenyang still squeezed out a smile. He has prepared a whole card, and there is still a lot of hope. A while passed. The noise on the field also subsided. Zhang Ping came to the arena again and continued to speak loudly. The big competition continues. Next, the second round, the knockout round to determine the top 3. 2-2 duels, the winner advances, the loser is eliminated until the top 3 are determined. The list is still jointly decided by the top leaders of the 4 major forces to ensure fairness. Now, let's get started. The first match, Chen Yu versus Wu Cheng. After the words fell, the field fell silent. Everyone focused their eyes on the ring with excited expressions. This is a competition between the top 10. The lowest is the peak of the 9th level of body training. It is definitely much more exciting than the previous points competition. Especially in the first game, Chen Yu, the Chen family, played on the first day. Everyone is looking forward to it. Soon, the two entered the ring. Chen Yu is the number 1 genius of the Chen family, and the number 1 among the original 4 geniuses in Qingya City. At this point, he has already broken through the enlightenment realm. Although it's only been a short time since the breakthrough, the aura has not yet consolidated. But the state of enlightenment is the state of enlightenment, which is far from comparable to the 9th level of body training. And Wu Cheng is the 2nd genius of the Wu family, and also a well-known genius in Qingya City, whose cultivation has reached the peak of the 9th level of body training. After the referee Zhang Ping announced the start, the two played against each other. Everyone watched with gusto. This match was indeed much more exciting and intense than the previous points match. However, it didn't last long. Chen Yu's talent was already higher than that of Wu Cheng's, and now his cultivation base was even higher than that of Wu Cheng. Wu Cheng was naturally no match. Within 10 moves, Wu Cheng was knocked off the ring. Chen Yu won and advanced to the top 5. Next match, Zhang He will face Chen Cong. Zhang Ping's voice came. Before long, Zhang He won. Next match, Lin Xuan will face off against Lin Xian. Zhang Ping announced again. Swish! The eyes of everyone on the field gathered on Lin Xuan in the stands with a strange meaning. Lin Xuan and Lin Xian are recognized couples in Qingya City, and they made a marriage contract early on. Everyone did not expect that this second round would actually pit these two against each other. There are also many people who gloated and wanted to see how Lin Xuan would choose. Not long after, the two came to the ring. The competition begins. Zhang Ping said loudly, looking at the two, his eyes flickering, waiting for the next development. "I surrender." At this time, Lin Xian's voice came. Afterwards, the two left the ring hand in hand and walked towards the stands. Everyone sighed. Such a result was both unexpected and expected, and everyone didn't know what to say. Zhang Ping also showed a look of helplessness and announced the result. In this match, Lin Xuan won and advanced to the top 5. The next game. In less than 10 minutes, the top 5 have been decided. They are Lin Xuan, Lin Yun, Zhang He, Wu Qili, and Chen Yu. It was still the Lin family who had the upper hand, with as many as 2 people. Next match, Zhang He will face Lin Yun. Zhang Ping announced. Everyone on the field was shocked. These are 2 of the original 4 geniuses in Qingya City, fighting against each other. It should be much more exciting than all the previous competitions. Everyone is looking forward to it. After a while, the 2 entered the ring. After Zhang Ping announced the start, the 2 fought. Both of them are in the early stages of enlightenment, and their cultivation bases are almost the same. There is not much difference in talent. In the battle, it seems that they are evenly divided. Very intense. Everyone on the field was also watching intently, without blinking their eyes, and felt very refreshed. However, Zhang He was the head of the original 4 geniuses after all, and compared to Lin Yun, his talent was slightly higher. Coupled with the sudden rise of Lin Xuan, it put great pressure on the city lord's mansion. The supply of resources to Zhang He has also increased a lot. It also allowed Zhang He to open up one more acupuncture point than Lin Yun. As time passed, the balance began to be broken, and it was biased towards Zhang He. 20 minutes later, Zhang He knocked Lin Yun off the ring and won. Zhang He also officially entered the top 3. Immediately, there was a loud cheer on the field. Immediately, Zhang Ping also smiled and announced the result. Zhang He's defeat and Lin Yun's retreat meant that the duel between the Zhang family and the Lin family had moved back to the next round. Next, it's time for the last Lin Xuan. If Lin Xuan can be defeated, the Zhang family will hopefully return to the top. Zhang He also understood this truth, and at the same time, he took a deep breath. He also glanced at Lin Xuan, full of provocation. In the stands, Lin Xuan sneered and didn't bother to pay attention. Such a competition is completely useless to him. It's just for him to earn energy points. As for Zhang He's provocation, he didn't take it seriously. After a few breaths, the field calmed down a bit. Zhang He got off the ring, and Lin Yun returned to the stands dejectedly. Zhang Ping continued to announce. Next match, Lin Xuan will face Wu Qili. After the words fell, there was a louder noise on the field. It quickly calmed down again.